Welcome. Today I am going to go over the lead flipping business. I gotta tell you, I did this business back in 2014 before I became a lead generator and a business loan broker. And this is the simplest business that I've ever done. From web hosting, digital marketing, consulting, software business, whatever. This is the easiest business, simplest business I've ever done because there's no moving parts. There's literally, or I should say, there's minimal moving parts. There's literally two things you have to do, and I'll explain it. If you've seen me around in the courses, I do lead generation, which has the most moving parts. You have consulting and loan brokering, which has moving parts. My event ticket broker business, which is kind of similar to this and the minimal moving parts, but I like this a lot better, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go over it. If anyone doesn't know,
I'm James Vasquez.
And I love his shirt.
Check it out.
Wearing the iworkinmyjams.com t-shirt. So anyway, if you don't know me, I build out courses to help people start an online business. My goal is to get you in business and basically get your first customer, first client. That's my goal. Whatever amount of money you make is going to be up to your efforts. I do very well working from home, been doing it for years. Obviously, my success is my success. I work very hard at what I do, but the only way you're ever going to make any money is if you work hard. I know we say I work in my jams, but there's no way that you're going to sit home on your butt in your pajamas, do nothing and make money. It's never going to happen. So just giving you a heads up. So I'm going to go over this. James is here to make sure I get everything, but this is going to be a short video.
It's going to be a quick video, but we don't want to forget this is Phil Smith. You didn't say your name. So
oh, did I?
Yeah.
So my name is Phil Smith. I've been endorsed by the original Shark from Shark Tank, been on CBS affiliate three times. Right. I've been on Fox News Channel. Now a Forbes writer and contributor on the Business Council, and what else do I always say?
Original Shark from Shark Tank.
Eric, sorry, teamed up with Eric Sermon from EPMD, hip hop legend. Right. Did some stuff with him, and we have a lot of other stuff lined up that we can't talk about yet, which is really cool. So I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, I do too.
We'll figure it out. But anyway, as you can see, we're not very organized. All right, let me go into this. So lead flipping, what does that mean? So you kind of, people talk about flipping houses. They buy a house and quickly sell it. There's a lot of work involved though. Well, this is kind of the same concept. The lead business, a lot of people don't realize how large a lead business is. The lead generation business is part of the $120 billion that's going to be spent in digital marketing by 2021. That was a Forbes article. So the digital marketing industry is massive in itself. Then the lead generation business is massive, that a lot of people don't realize that how much money you can make by just being a broker and flipping leads. That's really a lead broker, lead flipper, same thing. So when I first started this business, I used to bank at TD Bank at the time. And I used to go down there and do a lot of wire transfers. And this is before I ever really did a lot of wire transfers online. So what happened was I would go online and I put ads online looking for lead buyers. And I'm going to explain how to do that. And then I just researched lead sellers, and that was it. And because of the profit that you can make on deals, basically you're always going to make a profit because you're not going to broker a deal that doesn't make a profit. So you're basically guaranteed to make a profit unless you literally just do a deal that doesn't make a profit, and that would be stupid. So you don't do that. But now what happens is you get a good lead buyer, they could buy leads from you forever. So I've actually signed up lead buyers as a broker and a lead generator now that have bought leads from me for months or, as a lead generator, years, that people buying leads from me consistently every single day. So how much did it cost you to get that buyer? Could have been $20 or $100, whatever it is. Could be $500. It doesn't even matter. And listen, it's never going to be $500. I mean, you should be generating leads for, in the $5 to $20 range, worst case scenario. So, and then from there, whatever amount you get in, but you're going to understand these numbers in a second. So the business is very simple. Anything you want to?
Nope, so far we're good.
All right. So I'll just start here. So with lead flipping, there's two pieces of the business. You have buyers, right? So these are the people that are going to buy leads from you. And you have sellers. That's it, right? So this whole entire business is you finding buyers and finding sellers. If you want to compare it to real estate, it's pretty much as simple as finding a house to buy, doing the work, and selling it, right? That's it. And that's a big industry, and it's very sexy for people. I like this better because it's a lot less risk. There's no risk, really, right, in terms of just your marketing budget. And then once you find a buyer, you're literally going to go to the buyer's going to pay you. You're going to go to the seller, pay him his money, and then you're going to give him the leads, and you're done. That's it. So let me just break this down a little further. So let's talk a little bit about industries. So you want to basically flip leads in industries that are hot. So right now you got business loans. This is personally, this is my biggest industry that I do is business loans. So what a lot of people, actually don't know is James flips a lot of my leads, and we can go into that in a second. But business loans, you also have student loans. That's a big industry. So you have tax. You ever see a commercial like, do you have over $10,000 in IRS tax bill or whatever, and we'll help you eliminate that? That's those guys. You have tax, you have home improvement, you have insurance, you have mortgage. There's hundreds of verticals.
Yes,
pet services, DirecTV, cable, even Verizon, all those companies, buy leads in one way or another. So you have the buyers in a lot of different verticals. There's hundreds of them, literally. So we break down for you the better ones to do, right? The easier ones to work with. So, and then of course, on the sellers, it's the same concept. Whatever's hot on the buyer side is going to be hot on the seller side. So trust me, if business loans is hot, you're going to find a lot of people generating business loan leads, and you're going to find a lot of buyers looking for them. You're just putting yourself in the middle. So that's pretty much the way that it works in terms of that. So now let me go into the actual advertising, meaning how do you get buyers? Getting sellers is very easy. That doesn't cost any money. Now, listen, you can actually get buyers without spending money, and James is really good at LinkedIn, and maybe I'll go into that in a second. But to buy AdWords, Google AdWords is the number one place for me that I found to get buyers. Now, depending on the industry, there might be specific forums or websites that you may work with. So, for example, in the business loan space, there's a website called dailyfunder.com, and that's a great place that you can go to. It's a free website. You go there, you can place ads to find people to buy leads. I've done it. It's worked. I definitely got some buyers. But the best way, and the way you're going to get the most leads, is AdWords. That's worked very well. And I recently, in let's say the last few months, I tapped LinkedIn for their paid marketing. So LinkedIn, you can actually tell them exactly how much you want to pay for lead. So I actually say, I'll pay $5, and it actually does work. AdWords, it's going to be a little more complicated than that. It's not going to be as simple as just what I just said with LinkedIn. But even if you're paying $5 to $10 a lead, I know what you're saying, some of you. Oh my God, that's a lot of money per lead. But let's just break this down. Let me tell you some stats. Well, actually, you know what? Let me have James do it. So James, for example, has a buyer. I don't want to say their name, but I think he's going to know who it is. But he has a buyer that he found through one of I don't know if you remember which one you found it. But James, is running ads on AdWords and LinkedIn, or he uses LinkedIn for the free stuff, really, right?
Yeah, mostly.
And so the free stuff, and he gets some traffic from AdWords. But what happened was he had a buyer who buys age leads from him, and that's one type of lead, which we'll go in a second. And it's the first two initials are US.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, and they buy age leads from him. He flips my leads.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And how many thousands of leads?
Oh my God. They weekly buy 1,000 leads from me. A week. It's like a standing order.
Right.
Every week. And
basically what he does is he actually set it up himself where he actually is pulling in, what is it, like 500, 400? What is it?
What, in terms of?
The profit.
Oh, the profit's like $500.
So he basically is making around $500 profit every order.
Week. Yeah.
So let's just say he went out and he spent $5 or $10 to get that lead in. Now maybe he closed 1 out of 10. Like, listen, if you talk to 10 companies, I know my numbers, but people don't want to hear it from me. But if you talk to 10 companies, how many are you going to close? Like what?
Probably 2, maybe 2.
So, all right. So 2 or 3,
Right.
20, 30%. That's a
Yeah.
fair number. So let's look at that. Let's just say you're on the high end and you spend $10 and you get 10 leads. So you spend $100, right? So you're all in. I got keeping this all over myself. So you're all in for $100, and then you get that one buyer that ends up becoming a whale,
Right.
if you will, and he makes $500. I mean, I know the numbers, but I basically, what are they, 10 orders at this point in time,
Yeah,
at least.
yeah.
So let's just call about 10,000 leads. So you got 10,000 leads that they bought from him at a profit of pretty much 50 cents a lead.
Right.
And then what's happening is, so $5,000. Right? That's easy, man.
Yeah, that's easy. We like
So he basically spent, let's just call it $100. So he spent $100. Let's just say only closed 1 out of 10, and it ended up being these guys. They made $5,000. Now, am I saying that this is going to happen every time? No, of course not. But there's plenty of guys that like ordered once.
Yeah.
Right. He
Many
made
of those.
whatever he made. Right. Because he also flips credit repair leads,
Right, yeah.
and real time leads and whatever. You're not always going to make a lot of profit on every single deal. You may make $50, but hey, man, it's $50. Think about what you need to do to make that $50.
They always try you out, though. That's the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
I love about it. It's like I always get. I do use LinkedIn. I could go into that a little bit, but also just on my AdWords, when they come to me, they always ask the same questions for me when I'm doing the business loan flipping. It's just that, well, what is their cost per lead? You know, what's the minimum order? I establish minimum, so I have a certain amount that they must order from me, so I know at least I'm guaranteed to make some money. Because, especially since I'm a middleman, I'm not paying to generate the lead. I'm paying to advertise so I can get the leads. But I find that it's best to do that. Set your minimum order so you'll always get some type of money. So even my first time buyer, I'm making money on. So it's just a great thing because they always try you out. And then they'll come back. Maybe not right away. If they have success, they will continue to come back. But you have constant flow of people coming in.
And I know you get more through free LinkedIn marketing. He actually gets more leads through free LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And he put together this whole 5-day LinkedIn challenge for the other business, another training for consulting and loan brokering. He did it for that, but it works the same for this. It's the same concept.
Same concept.
You're just targeting a different person on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn's a really good way to get free leads because there's just a massive amount of business owners on it, obviously, and you can just reach out to them, tell them what you're all about, what you're trying to, promote to them. And you can also use LinkedIn groups. Right?
Yeah.
AdWords is more of just, paid marketing, driving the traffic to your site. They both work great. AdWords just doesn't take as much time because you're just paying for it. So, and then you can do LinkedIn pay too. Anyway, so now I personally literally have done deals where I brought in a lead buyer from AdWords, whether you flip the leads or generate your own, because I generate my own now, and literally have brought in buyers who have paid me, $500,000 plus, you know what I mean, over the course of time. And not one deal, like this could be a year or over 2 years, right? So that's the best part about it. If you know anything about advertising and getting a lead, when you have a constant buyer, the lead price doesn't matter anymore. Who cares? Because once you get that guy, it pays for it. So in James' case, he can go out and spend a ton of money on marketing and not get anybody and still make a profit, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. And then what does he have to do? All he has to do is you get a buyer, they send you a wire. Usually it's a wire transfer, like a Chase Quick Pay or using Zelle these days. Right. So you get paid that way. Then he turns around and pays somebody else. And then he turns around and gets the leads and then he provides them to his buyer. Now, when you're in the middle, you're a broker and you buy age leads or really real time and you get the actual data, you can sell it again. Right? You can sell it to another buyer and now it's pure profit. So it's a really cool business.
And what's so cool about it, you're not spending the money to generate the lead.
No, no risk.
No risk.
The lead generator, like in my case, I take all the risk.
Yeah, I have a flat cost, so I know if I'm buying at X, every time I go to them, I'm going to buy it at X. Whereas if you're a lead generator, you have to worry about the cost fluctuating per lead. So there's minimal risk, no risk. I know I'm paying a flat fee of this. I know what I'm charging the buyer, and then I just put it together and always get your money up front. That's something you always show, get paid up front and then you can send them the leads.
Yep. So I just love this business. I don't do it anymore. Well, actually that's not true. I mean, I don't really consider myself a lead broker anymore because I'm a lead generator. But really, at the end of the day, I've done deals, over the years since I stopped doing this. I've done a brokering deal. I mean, I've done it. I don't really look for them anymore because I make, a lot more money doing lead generation because that's really where the money is in this business. But if you're starting out and you don't have a lot of money or you don't have any experience, this is a simple way to learn the industries. Right. The way that I learned the industry, when I did small business loans, when I first started, I was brokering the leads. And what happened was I learned the industry. I had the buyers, so I learned who the business loan lenders were. And I know you've met some of them. Yeah. We just went to a broker fair recently, so he got to meet a lot of lenders in the business loan space. But it doesn't matter what industry you're in. When you're brokering the deals, you're learning both sides. You're learning the buyers and the sellers, right? So when you have those contacts now and you go further down the road, you could say one day, you know what? Let me try to generate these leads. Right, yeah. Let me put some ads on Facebook. Let me see what's going on. Let's see if I can generate these leads and sell them for a profit. That's all I did. I just tried it one day and it started working after a little, trial and error. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I took that business and I scaled it. And, again, the lead generation business is my favorite business, like I said. Mm-hmm. So this is finding the buyers, whether you want to do free marketing or paid marketing. LinkedIn's the best for free. AdWords the best for paid. And listen, you can spend $10 a day, $5 a day. Like we're not saying to go out and spend a lot of money on your advertising. So now beyond that, what do we have? We have finding the sellers. Who are the lead providers, mm-hmm. right? So who is selling leads that you can contact? How do you do this? There's two really easy ways, I gotta tell you. One easy way is to use Google AdWords. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, use Google.
Search.
Just do search. Go on Google, type in what you're looking for. So for, let's just say business loans, type in small business loan lender. And those are the guys that are interested in buying leads because they're already paying for marketing, so clearly they have an interest. Whether or not they're going to buy leads from you or whatever, that's a whole different story. But you got to contact them, right, and find out. So that's going to Google and doing a simple search. Another way is to utilize affiliate marketing, right? Go to like the big affiliate companies, affiliate networks, and then see who basically those companies work with. So I'll give you an example. You'd go to I don't even remember the names of the affiliate networks now, but I worked with some affiliate networks years ago, and what they did is I could buy leads from them, right? They sold leads because they had all the lead generators on the other side, right? So now the affiliate network's technically the middleman. They have lead generators on one end, sending them leads, and then they look for buyers. That's an affiliate network, right? They have buyers and sellers. You as a broker is the same concept as an affiliate network. It's just a different type of business. We won't go into that. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they have lead buyers and sellers too. So you find a large affiliate network that's willing to work with you. You go to them, you say, hey, you're selling leads in which verticals? What vertical's hot, right? That's a different question because you don't care, right? Sure. Then you basically go there and you say, all right, what do you got going on? What's hot? What's the price? Give me a price list, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the leads coming in, right? Now you have a lead source. And then now you go out and find a lead buyer and you sell it for a profit. That's it. Yeah. Right? So you have Google, you have affiliate marketing, or I should say, you change that to affiliate networks. That's two ways to go about it. Another way is to use like Affiliate Summit. So Affiliate Summit's a conference in the affiliate marketing world. If you go to Affiliate Summit's website and you see all their sponsors, and they always have sponsor lists. Mm-hmm. Those are like, you can go through that list and see if any of them are a lead provider, right? And that's an easy way to find them there. So doing simple Google search, affiliate network, and then referrals. So now once you talk to a company, right, you talk to an affiliate network, or maybe you find somebody on Google and you call them up and say, hey, you want to buy leads? And they say, yeah, no, we're not really in the business. Hey, you know anyone that would buy leads, right? You just ask them like, yeah, you know what, a friend of mine actually will. You understand, like, I remember I got some leads from Google, but the best leads I ever got were the referrals. So when I brought on a buyer, I did some stuff and then they recommended me and whatever, or I asked about it and it just blew up from there. So finding sellers obviously you're not really going to do paid marketing to find sellers. Again, it's all free marketing. It's just putting the work in. But when you find a good source, oh my God, Like that's gold, right? You find a good source for leads. You also have the different type of leads. So one thing I'll go in a second, but I'll talk about call centers in a second for now. So a call center is another way. So I probably should have talked about the actual type of leads, but let's just go talk about this. So a call center is another thing that you can go look for. Search for call centers that also provide leads. So let me go into the type of leads real quick and you'll totally understand what I mean. So now every industry is going to be different, but I'll give you like an overview. So you have forms. That's somebody going to a website, filling out a form. And when they fill out the form, you get the data. All right. That's a lead, a form lead. Then you have a call, like a direct inbound call. So someone goes to a website, they pick up the call, but it's a direct call from the lead. So that means, like, for example, if you ever went to a website, needed insurance or mortgage, and you picked up the phone and called the company direct, right? I mean, you're a lead calling them direct. Then you have what's called a transfer. This is where the call center comes in, I just mentioned. So a transfer is when a call center, a bunch of people on phones in a room, and they do outbound dialing. Typically, it's outbound dialing. And then what happens is they now ask specific questions for the lead. So for example, when I first started brokering business loan leads, the number one thing I was doing was selling transfers. So I would find a call center. I even did it myself eventually, which was interesting. That's how it actually became a lead generator. I was doing my own transfers. But I would find companies that provided transfers. And that call center called out on a business loan owner or a list of business loan owners. I'm sure you got these calls and, ever since you became a business owner, whatever. We all, in a business loan space, if you're a business owner, you got these calls. You get a call saying, hey, so-and-so, are you interested in a business loan? Yeah, sure, I'm interested. Great. And then they ask certain questions to filter you out. Do you do over $10,000 a month in revenue? Have you been in business for 6 months? Do you have any bankruptcies? Right? Whatever the questions are. Then the call center now takes that lead and they transfer it to your buyer. It's the call, it's the guy in the call center now is on the phone. So, hey, so-and-so, you need a business loan? Great. Yeah. Okay, great. Hold on. I'm going to put you in touch with an account manager or a funding manager or whatever. Hold on a second. All right. They dial. That guy now picks up. Hello, ABC Funding. Hey, Joe at ABC Funding. Obviously, this is all set up ahead of time, right? So everybody knows what's going on. Okay, great. I have, Mr. Smith on the phone. He owns XYZ Corp. He does $50,000 a month in revenue. He's interested in a business loan. Hey, can you take it from here, basically? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Hey, Mr. Smith, great. Let me see how I can help you. That's a transfer. So you can sell that as a lead. Now, you don't have to do anything, right? And everything's tracked through, call management. You're like, well, how do I know what's going on? You use software, which I'll show you what to do. You use specific software that will track all that. It will record the calls. There'll be a time. You can see how long the calls were. Everything's there, and that's how you bill. Of course, you get the paid up front. And then you basically work down the balance. So if someone pays you for 100 calls, when 100 calls is over, or when they have 10, 20 calls left, hey, how's everything going? You want more leads? That's it. You're just the middleman moving money. They send you money for more leads. You send it to your buyer. You send them leads. You keep doing the process over and over again. So you have forms. You have an inbound call. You have a transfer. Listen, you can really go crazy, right? You have radio. There's companies out there that actually do per call on radio ads. So you can say, hey, you want a call? You want leads in for direct TV, or whatever, and say, I got radio ads for you. You're not going to run the radio ads. I'll show you the companies that will actually do radio ads for you, right? And they take all the risk. That's the lead generator, right? That's the lead seller. Mm-hmm. They'll do all the calls for you, and you just find the buyers. You up it, whatever amount of money you want to do. If you have $30 leads, you charge 40, or $10 leads, you charge 15, whatever it is. And then you basically, learn it, you make your profit. You also have TV. There's TV companies out there that will do the same thing. So you have all these different types of lead types, and you can make money in all of them. So what I did when I first started, I just put all this stuff out there. I found example radio spots, example TV spots on like YouTube, put them on my website. I put out all the different types of leads. What type of lead do you want? So they filled out the form on my website. Obviously, I put my phone number out there. Hey, I just sat back and waited for the phone to ring. That's what James does. He just gets leads. pretty every single day.
Every day.
He gets leads, and then he just calls, "Oh, hey, how can I help you out?" Right?
It's the best thing.
Yeah, all you have to do is just learn the lingo of each industry.
Thing, right?
It's just fine. That's easy to learn.
Yeah, it's really
you learn it. You learn the lingo, and you just start doing it. You start generating leads, and you just start closing deals. It's simple.
I hate saying it, but it's simple.
I know. It's
the buyers.
You got to work.
Yeah, you got to do the work. But I mean, come on, they're drawn to you from your advertising, and they're basically on the conversation. You're going to get from them exactly what they need. So they're going to tell you, like, let's say you're dealing, they want form fills for whatever it is. They're going to tell you the filters that they're looking for. So now you know exactly what that buyer needs, and then you're just going to go to the lead seller and say, here's what I need, here's what the filters are, blah, blah, blah. What are you going to charge me for that? And then that's what you do. You're bridging the gap, and you're putting a commission on top of that. Your profit margins on top of that, and you could be how much or as low as you want to make. You have to find within the industry thresholds, but there's so much money to be made.
Yeah, listen, you can make as much or as little as you want. Whatever your goal is. But last thing I'll mention on this is the age leads. So we talked about that before. So you have real-time leads, like I said before, form calls, these are all like real-time. And then you have the age lead market. Age leads is great. We talked about it before. That's the list, and you just buy the list and sell the list and sell it multiple times if you want. But this is it. So what do we talk about? We talked about the industry as a whole, lead generation, massive. There's a ton of lead buyers in every vertical. You figure out which vertical that you want to be in. We told you how to generate leads. We told you how to find the lead sellers. Right? Different different verticals to be in, the age leads.
One thing I just heard you say, and I want to make it clear, you can select one vertical, but you can select two verticals once you become more adept at it. The earning potential is really limitless, because let's say you just go into one vertical, maybe it's business loans, maybe it's auto finance, maybe when you go into those different categories, now you're having multiple buyers for different things. Obviously you have to manage all that. You could grow at whatever pace, but you get the idea. There's so many verticals out there, and there's such high demand for this. They need this, and then you just start spending your time on that Google AdWords advertising or free to get them, and then you're just the middleman. So it's really incredible.
Yeah, if anyone's ever been some sort of agent, like an insurance agent or a mortgage broker, you get it, right? You guys get it. Exactly. For anyone that's never done that, hopefully you do get it and you understand the concept. It's a really simple concept. When I first started, I remember getting my first deal. It was a local business loan company, and I just couldn't believe how easy it was. I was like, okay, they just said, all right, we'll take leads. I'm like, oh, that was it? It happened so quickly and easily. I didn't have to sell them because lead buyers, they buy leads from everyone.
Right.
Well, I should say they'll try leads from everyone, and they'll certainly try you out unless you really can't sell them for some reason. But typically, more times than not, if you get somebody on the phone that's serious about buying leads, because there's a lot of window shoppers out there. But if you get someone on the phone that has the money, they understand it, they want to buy leads, you're going to sell more of them than not. So, and that's it. They just try them out. Now you need to make it simple. See, I made it simple. James, make it simple. Test it out. There's guys out there that will go out there and say, oh, minimum orders $5,000. And I do know companies that do that. They're pretty large though, and they kind of, increase their minimums. But listen, you make it simple to start. Make your minimum as cheap as possible. Just cover your costs. Exactly. If you're a wire transfer. You know what I used to do when I first started? I had these sellers, these lead generators out of Florida, which you met, Michael and Adam. And when I first met these guys, I was broke. I don't even know if you know that.
What's that?
Michael and Adam in Florida, that company, they basically, I flipped their leads. That's how I met them.
Oh, get out of here.
And I met this guy, funny story. I met this guy who was flipping leads to me. And I knew something was off with this guy. It really was. He was, he's never around. He's always around when he needed to be around, but he was really bad at helping me out. So I backtracked where he got his leads from, and I figured out who the actual source was. And that's typically, I wouldn't go out of my way to do that, but it was so hard to do business with him. Right. So I contacted him directly. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm looking to buy leads. And so I did a deal with him directly. And that's how I started
Wow,
working with
I
those
know
guys. I've been working with them now for like 3 years. They were the first people I met in the industry, and I was flipping tax leads from them, and it was just age leads.
Oh, wow.
Because they used to own a tax company, now,
Right.
you know that.
Yeah.
So, and now what happened was, that's how I kind of started flipping leads with them, and I became like great friends with them now.
Yeah, they're cool
James and I
guys.
went down to West Palm Beach and hung out with them a couple months ago,
Great
trying to
guys.
do more stuff. We hung out with them in Vegas.
Yeah.
You met them in New York last
Right.
year. So at LeadsCon, which is another industry thing, or maybe it was Affiliate Summit. It was either one of the two. And that's how I met them, and I've been doing business with them ever since. And we both have made money off each other now, the guys in Florida, and it's just that's what it turned into. So I never imagined that starting when I started flipping leads, and the people you meet and what it could turn into.
Right.
Yeah. Those guys, just so you know, on a side note, those guys were trying to do an e-learning course on actually affiliate marketing with them. So anyway, so that's it. Listen, at the end of the day, I've been doing this a long time. I know the industry's inside and out. I know how to make money doing this stuff. I'm going to show you how to do it. My goal is to get you in business, get your first deal done, and then obviously, support you to grow your business. So if you see that this being a pretty simple business, it is, really minimal moving parts, right? Buyer, seller, and that's it. You just move money back and forth. It's pretty cool.
And very, very minimal risk. I mean, you're not doing anything. You're pretty much just.
Well, how you minimize your risk is just do free marketing. Use LinkedIn. It's going to cost you more time,
right?
But once you close a deal, you're done. It's great.
But once you find the buyer and the supplier, that's it. It's simple. If it sounds simple, it's because it is.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say it sounds too good to be true.
I know. That's
Yeah,
I hear that.
You got to try it. I mean, if you like it, give it a shot. If you don't like it, then don't do it. I mean, I'll tell you. Anyway, that's it. I'm sure the website.
And we have to. How much is this program?
So, I wanted to end it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do that separately.
We can back it up. I screwed that up. No, let's stop it and rewind.
I know. I got to figure out where.
I'm sorry.
I was just about to end it.
Oh, I thought you were forgetting.
And then, no. I want to do it separately. That's what I was going to say. Okay. So go to the website. It's going to be on the screen somewhere. I'm sure it probably always showed up before. Go check it out. And, and if you want to join, and we'll see you on the other side. So the last thing I want to go over is the actual, how much does this thing cost? So let me go back a couple of pages here for you. So basically, I use this for other webinars I do. So the course is $2,000. If you sign up while you're on it right now, it's going to be $997. You got 2 payments of $597 or 5 payments of $297. One thing I always like to talk about in all my courses is how much it really costs to run a business and how affordable this is.
Right.
If you go to college, you're spending $20, $30, $60, $100,000, and you might make $100,000 a year. Woohoo, right? Mm-hmm. That's everyone's goal. That's it. Now these businesses. Listen, you can make whatever amount of money you want, but how many times have you met a professor at a college that makes millions of dollars a year?
Right.
They don't really exist, right? Because they have a job and they make what they make. How many entrepreneurs have you met that makes millions of dollars a year? Well, that's where you find the millionaires. Yeah. They're usually entrepreneurs, right? Typically. So for me, same situation. I pulled in millions of dollars a year by doing these types of my online businesses that I've done, right? That's how much I've made. But for you, if you want to put yourself on a path to learn from people that are doing it, well, this is the route you want to go. Now, for me, when I started brokering, I knew for a fact it wasn't what I wanted to do forever. I knew I wanted to become a lead generator. I knew I wanted to do other things, right? But this was a stepping stone for me. And maybe it's a stepping stone for you, like it's a stepping stone for James. But these numbers over here are just simple numbers that we talk about what it costs to do stuff. So $800. This is the monthly fee if you want to hire a typical Facebook agency. Mm-hmm. I know when it charges $800 a month. $800 a month. We're charging pretty much almost your monthly fee one time for $997 to have the whole entire business, and that's just your marketing. $4,000 a month. I've been I got it. A quote for a PR company. They gave me a quote for $4,000 a month to do PR services for me. $4,000 a month. Then you have you going? Oh, okay. Hold on a second. gonna get this to you before I forget. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye, thanks. Then you have $2,000 a month is what I charge as a digital marketing consultant. When I have my digital marketing company, I charge minimal $2,000 a month. 2 to 5K to build a website, to build a good website. You can get it cheaper, but to build a good website, and listen, there's people that charge 50 grand for a website, but middle of the road websites, $2,000 to $5,000. And you give them the whole business for $997. There's a whole slew of services out there, business service that cost thousands and thousands or hundreds of dollars, and it's insane to run a company. So when you really think about it, what you're getting for the value is ridiculously low, right? Because obviously for this business, for what I'm doing now, it's all about volume of people. If I wanted to work with 3 or 5 people, obviously I have to charge way more money. So just trying to do this as cheap as possible, right? So people can get in, work the business, and obviously grow it. And that's it.
That's great. You have 3 payment options there. One level for every person.
So listen, I mean, if you don't have $300, and to be honest, you probably shouldn't be starting a business anyway, right? So we have to have a minimum, right? So I mean, realistically, if you don't have $300, you probably should be starting a business. You need some money to get going, right? So if you can't get it even at that level, go to PayPal credit.
Right.
You might be able to get a financing from PayPal. They do 0% financing for 6 months. Get credit cards, do the same thing. I guess, you can look and see whatever option you have. Borrow the money. Find a friend.
Find a friend.
Yeah, do a partnership, right? You guys just share the expenses and do it together. I mean, what's wrong with that? So
that's right.
We don't care. Do whatever you want. But that's it. I mean, best thing to do your research, right?
Do your research.
I have videos.
That's right.
I log into my bank account, I show my tax returns, I got a whole bunch of stuff that I have out there. Do your research on me, make sure I know what I'm talking about. If you saw, we actually went to a broker fair recently. All the lenders are there. I mean, in the business loan space, there's all your buyers, right? I mean, James met a lot of them. We've been to Traffic and Conversion Summit, Money 2020 in Vegas, LeadsCon, Affiliate Summit. We've been around, doing this stuff. So this is what we do. We're not just making this stuff up. So what do you want to say?
Right. I just think, like he said, do your research. Make sure you check Phil out and all the accolades that he's had. And do your research on the business too. Lead generation, it's not something we're saying. It's not a new business. It's not at all. It's it's what businesses need. And that's the best thing about it. And we're showing you a tried and proven business that Phil did himself, start from beginning to end. And we're packaging it for you at a real affordable cost.
So listen, take advantage of it if you want, and we'll see you on the other side.